let's draw. So this is going to be my last sticker stint video. I took another prompt from my Inktober, which was filthy. So there's my sketchy sketch, which obviously you can tell, filthy meaning garbage in the ocean. And this is the sticker we're going to end up with. So since that was my prompt then, I thought I'd talk a little bit about that prompt and how dirty our oceans are. So there's this place called 40 Ocean, and they sell these bracelets, which one bracelet is 1 pound. So they clean up the ocean 1 pound at a time. So if you buy a bracelet, you clean up 1 pound of garbage. So it's a good reason to buy a bracelet. They're really cool. They're made of recycled materials. So the beads are recycled glass, and the fiber, I guess, whatever makes up the actual bracelet part is like also recycled plastics and materials. So it's pretty cool. So here we go. I'm drawing. Now, not that I'm not interested in the ocean, but that wasn't so much my thought. But I have a young teenage friend who is going to wants to go to school, be a marine biologist. So she's super into it. So she's always sending me ocean facts and shark facts and telling me all the things that are bad about, you know, the materials we use, such as plastic. So, for example, this little 6-pack of soda plastic in my drawing is one of those things that I think everyone has seen the picture of the poor little turtle where his shell is all crunched in, and that's how he grew, because this thing wrapped around and strangled him, and then all the places that all this plastic ends up. So things I didn't really know that she shared with me was how much plastic actually ends up in birds' stomachs, and, you know, just like part of what they're eating, because it's in everything, which I thought was pretty sad and gross. So just thinking about that, obviously it's like buying a bracelet. Well, I'm probably not going to go to the ocean and clean up anything myself, but if there are people that are doing that and I can buy a bracelet and I can support their efforts, because that's a lot of work, then that's cool. So that's some of that background. So anyway, back to my drawing. So I am still using the Sketchbook Pro as, like I said, this is going to be my last sticker stint. And I think at this point, I'm getting pretty used to the app itself. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with messing around with some of the brushes and trying to do different textures. You can see I'm kind of like scrolling through them now just to see how to kind of just make things look a little the way I have them in my head when I'm like sketching them. So I'm putting a little texture on this. Now what was cool in Sketchbook, which I didn't even think of in my sketch, is you see like there's nothing behind the 6-pack. And the 6-pack holder is translucent. So I was able to put the back in it, which was something I didn't even think about in the pencil sketch. It just made it a solid shape so it stood out. So I thought that was pretty cool that I was able to do in the app. Another thing is, in my last video I said that my process was pencil sketch to like flat colors to outline and then all the other stuff. Obviously I didn't do that right. So right here you have my flats and some of the highlight and lowlights. So continue that. So that bracelet I mentioned, here we go. So you can tell I voiced this over after I already like throw stuff in there. But that's what it looks like. And it's really cool. And it's like really surprisingly lightweight. So yeah, go check it out. Back to this. So now I'm putting in the shadows for my drawing, but I didn't put any line work in yet. So even the last time I was pretty set that my process was always going to have that line work, when I was doing this one, I just wanted, I guess, that depth to show up. So I was more concerned with how the tentacle was twisting from front to back and then turning and back around again and then through that final loop, that I was just preoccupied with the shading and the highlights. So you can see I've already moved on to the highlights. So not a bad thing. So getting back to some of these ocean facts. So another disturbing one that I learned was about plastic straws. So now I'm like hyper aware and I don't want to use any plastic straws because they are found in turtles' nostrils. So that's terrible and sad. So looking into that, there's a video out there, and I'm not linking to anything because it's just sad, but you can find it on your own, of someone in I think it was like in a boat, and they find a turtle and he has a little straw in his nose, and they actually like put him in the boat and they pull. It's gross. So it's sad and gross, So, yep, there's some more pictures of trash. So that's all the trash they pull out of the ocean. You see the little bracelets. And this was the common stuff. So plastic is number one, of course. And then pressure-treated wood was on there. And I thought, what is that even from? And a friend said probably boats. I don't know. So I have no idea who made that infographic, and I don't know where it came from. So I have no idea if it's completely accurate, but you can Google it, and that's all. Someone just sent it to me. So here I am finally laying down my outlines and my line work for this after I was pretty much satisfied with my shading and the texture on the 6-pack part. So completely did this one different than all the other ones. You'll also notice all the icons and where the layers are have changed, and now they changed again. So while recording this, I'm doing this on my iPad Pro. I use the iPad's recording the screen function. So not the internal in the Sketchbook Pro, but the iPad. And at some point while this was like sitting, because I was just drawing while it was on my lap, while I was sitting, I must have moved somehow, so the camera actually started recording everything upside down. So that's why all the icons went from one way to the other way. And currently there's no easy way to flip video. So if the orientation of a video is one way, you don't like hit in your photo settings like to flip it back. That just doesn't exist. So to download an app that rotated video in order to take that segment, just the one segment, because somehow for whatever reason it came back, to take, or maybe it was 2 segments, to take that and to rotate them and then put them back together. So, but I've still successfully made these videos on my iPad, and if anyone's still listening to this point, my first video, one of my goals was to make these on my iPad, to tape them on my iPad, try to make all the graphics that support them on the iPad, and then do the voiceovers and then do the video editing on the iPad. So far so good. This is, like I said, this is going to be my last one for stickerstint, so I don't know what I'll do next. I don't know if I'll do anything next. I have no idea. So, anyways, I was pretty glad that I could download the apps to do what I needed to do is to keep all this production on my iPad. Now, I saw a video editing app that was a little pricey. I mean, not really, not compared to, I have Adobe Premiere on my computer, so I have no idea how to use it. But of course, I forget the name of it now. But I think it was like $20, which I said, not too bad, but it's a little pricey for an app, I guess, when you're like not sure what you want to do. So that one seemed to have a lot more options. So I don't know. I guess if I am seriously going to make a few more videos, I might consider upgrading. But for now, this was pretty good. So here I go. The colors in Sketchbook, they have this Copic, is that how you say them? They have a little section for those markers, which I'm not super familiar with, so I did play around in it, but yeah, that'll be a whole next thing. All right, so here I am outlining it, so I guess I'm kind of winding down. So I guess for my next videos, what I need to do is invest in some new music or something and checking that out. So maybe that'll be the next thing. I'll have some new intro music, because whether you know it or not, YouTube provided the music for these last 2 ones. There's like some little library you can search and it's free. Yeah, so that's what I did. So maybe that'll be in my new upcoming videos. Be a little cooler intro music or something a little more interesting. So now we're just about done, and now it looks like a sticker. So I do think I am going to post the stickers that I have done somewhere. I was looking at TeePublic because that's what Corey uses, so I might do that. So I will definitely come back and announce that if I do. Or check out my Instagram, because I'll probably post it there. So here's the final one of this guy. And he was super fun to do. And super sad when you think about the ocean. So, again, check out Corey. Thanks again for this whole little challenge. And thanks for watching. Bye!